And I completed that in 2018, and I thought I should expand my knowledge more into plastic processing and plastic designing. So I chose UMass Lowell as my best choice, and I came here in the fall of 2018, in order to learn more and have a career in the United States. And then I started off my journey by taking in some courses. And since UMass Lowell offers like a co-op program, so I also applied for a co-op, and I did intern at a medical device startup company. It's a
Hmm.
Massachusetts company. Uh, so it basically it's an R&D. So it kind of researches on artificial artificial knee replacement cartilages.
Hmm.
And it was a great experience there for like 7 months. And then after that, I thought, okay, so UMass Lowell doesn't let you take in courses when you are on a co-op. So I was
Yeah.
left with 4 courses in my last semester. So I thought, I still want to learn more of plastic processing, and that internship did focus on like mechanical testing and like polymer syntheses, which I had done in my previous internships back in India. So hence I thought, okay, let me try my hands on doing thesis because I was interested in it. So I started. It didn't make a difference for me. That I thought it'll be fine enough if I extend my master's for like 6 months because thesis is for a year, right? So I started off my thesis in January, and on a track of graduating in December. But then suddenly, we had COVID right in March, thanks to it, and my lab work was, and then I stopped meeting my professor. My lab work was kind of halted, and the work was kind of really slow. And right now, basically, I just have like 3 months to finish off my thesis, and it's like a really stressful period now. It was more. It included more of design work, like mold design, and then like simulations, like flow simulations in plastic in injection molding. And then I still had to do like some in lab experiments as well, like a design of experiments. But turns out, we are short on time. University restrictions, and like sometimes I feel it's improper communication with my advisor. So things kind of get delayed. So that's why I was like, this is like a really stressful period going on right now. So that's why I was like really confused what to do, because I have an option of extending my masters by another 6 months.
Hmm.
That will enable me to complete my thesis. uh,
Hmm.
this will as well, like if I graduate in December, as of the plan right now, I will still be able to. But what I had planned initially for my work, that wouldn't be done. I would have to like kind of shorten the work which I was supposed to do. So I have that option as well of extending my graduation, or
Hmm.
graduating in December. So I was really confused regarding what will be the kind of job availability in the quarter one of 2020 2021, or
Hmm.
better if I kind of move on to summer of 2021.
Okay.
So
One
yeah.
question I have for you. When you said you want to came US and have a career here, I guess your idea was like you finish your masters, get a job, and move on. I guess, right?
Yes, correct. Initially I had planned that. So, I honestly had applied to like many universities in Canada as well, but that was for industrial engineering. And US, I wasn't really looking forward to US, but my one of my professor at my university said it's a really good course, and my counselor. So I used to go to College Pond in India. So even they recommended me that. Saying that, you know,
I mean, if you look at polymer plastics, University of Massachusetts Lowell and University of Akron are two top universities, right?
correct, yeah.
So you did a good choice in selecting those, no doubt. I mean, if I was you, and if I was guiding someone else, I would do the same thing probably.
Yeah, and like since this was more from, so UMass Lowell offers more of like processing and industry relevant courses, and Akron is more of polymer chemistry.
Right.
So I thought, if I don't want to consider a PhD, then probably UMass Lowell masters in UMass Lowell would be my best shot.
But you ever thought of doing PhD, or that was not in your mind at all?
It was not. It was never in my mind of doing a PhD, because I really wanted to get into the industry as soon as possible.
Got it.
But again, I was skeptical about it, considering the fact that being a master's student, it's I mean, as you can see, like, in terms of job security, right? It's like really difficult if you're still on an H1B. I mean, and kind of if
And
you,
job security, even if you don't have H1B, if you are in green card or whatever, especially in COVID right
okay,
now, everybody is having the same trouble.
okay,
So, I guess not you, like a lot of students who came here and the time when, let's say, they're graduating either in 2020 or sometime this time, everybody is going through this sort of a new kind of a trouble now,
right,
right? So it's not you. And probably if you watch some of my videos, you will see probably like a lot of students asking the same questions. And as I said, actually, to be honest with you, I have spoken to, I think you must be like fourth or fifth person from this college, from 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 ICT. Actually, I'm speaking to,
okay,
and I think a couple of them, one person that was doing PhD here somewhere. But anyway, my point here is, okay. So let me give you my advice here. So let's think of no COVID, and then I will add COVID to it to simplify it more. And what would my suggestion for you? So looking at your profile and looking, I was speaking with you. Definitely, I would say going to PhD route may not be the right choice for you. You seems like a person who really want to get into industry, especially you have experience working at 3M and all that. Industry would be probably a right choice, because if at this point, if somebody should have been made their mind whether to go or not, so if
yep,
you are of that mindset, I would definitely say going to PhD route is not the right thing for you.
correct,
So that's the right thing. So let's think of industry now.
yep,
um, the, so what I'm thinking is, like, you want to make your career in US and live here and so forth, like move on, right? I would say the biggest challenge that you will face, let's say you are able to find a job, okay?
okay,
Biggest challenge you will face down the road is, can you stay here for a long time? Because getting a green card or something for a master's from India is almost zero now.
yeah. I mean, I essentially saw that. I mean, it almost takes like around 60 to 70 years. I don't know.
It's zero. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying. I mean, you don't wait for 60 years. So my point, my question to you is, this H1 thing will trouble you down the road, and it will hamper you. It will restrict you to move on. It will restrict you to do big things, for sure,
okay.
for sure. Because you will be always in mercy of your employer. As simple as that.
Even if I wish to like switch jobs,
No, no.
that
See. Here's the thing. Let me give you my example. Again, I can't tell you about someone else, right? I can give you my example, and you may probably then say, okay, here is an example, and what did you learn from that? I was able to get my first job at Rolls Royce only because I had a green card. Nobody was sponsoring H1, even though I had a PhD, and this was 10 years back. What I'm saying is, what I see from that point to this point now, things has not become easier. It has become more harder. That's number one. Okay. Again, you should calculate your probability, because and again, not talking about a lot of people that speak. They say, hey, what about people who have done computer science and all that? I don't consider them that attract, because we are talking about core sector here. You know, people who work for Google, Facebook, they IT works in a totally different way, but
yeah,
doesn't mean that they don't face challenges in green card. It's the same process. So as a master student, you will have trouble there too. Okay.
yeah,
I cannot predict what's going to happen after 15 years. I cannot predict that. Green card would be almost chances are zero. So my question, let's say if you get a job, and you were able to find someone who can sponsor a H1 and stays there, what I'm saying is, you will always have this thing in your mind where you say, okay, I'm an H1, I can't do this, I can't do that, I have restrictions, I have visa restrictions, you can't go to India every time you want, because then you have to go to immigration, get it stamped. I have a lot of friends who are facing this problem even after 15 years.
oh,
Like,
wow,
yeah. This is very common, very, very common. Speak to a person.
Okay.
So what I'm saying, this would be your life. So the second question is, what's the best thing to do? But
Correct.
another thing, again, I can't predict what's going to happen in the future, but you will also find. So this thing happened in last four, I would say 4 or 5 years. So I had friends who were graduated when I was doing PhD as a master's. I have friends, right? When I did my master's in 2015, I finished my master's in 2005. Sorry, 2005 in University of Arizona. All those friends apply for apply for green card and so on. But that was 2005. All this thing, new development happened uh, in couple of in last 4 or 5 years. I would say this change. What can happen now, I don't know, but this is what is now, right? But it also be true that maybe if and also if you look at what is going on with the government, what how easy are they are making a process and all that. I think the process will be easier for people who have advanced degrees. That means PhDs will have better chances versus masters. The reason I was able to get my green card also was because of that.
But then, like, how do you sponsor yourself if you do a PhD?
No, so what I did, so because I didn't have an industry job, right?
Correct.
I was doing a postdoc.
Yeah.
So if you do your postdoc and all, those H1 visas are different category. Those are
Okay.
not industry H1 visas. Those are called research H1 visas. Those they don't come under that category.
Okay.
But again, as I said, this would be the other side of it that you will face. Now comes to the next question: what are the chances for you to find a job and do, and what is the right thing to do now?
Correct.
What I hear from people, what they are doing right now. And as I said, if you go to some of my videos, you will also find people who had H1, lost their job,
Yeah. So,
yeah, and probably are struggling. So after 4, 5, 6 years, so down the road, as I said, this is always a problem with visa. What can you do if you would like to stay here and all that? And it's not just me. If you can go Google it, also you will find the same thing. As I said, PhD is the best thing that anybody can do as of now. Get a PhD. That's the only way to immigrate as of now in this country. Move on. Because without that, this applies mostly for people who are India, Chinese, Mexicans, because they go through the different kind of process. Don't mix with people. That's much
yeah,
easier.
because they have a separate pool based on the number of people who come. They come here.
But as I said, the question really comes in for you to uh, find a job and all that. And also another thing, if you hear, and again, this is for the core sector. I'm saying, people who are not in IT industry,
Yeah.
core sector. That's the biggest thing.
Courses sector is like much
Yeah,
more
yeah.
major factor.
Because what happened is, to be honest with you, just to give, let me give you another example. The company where I work now, they even don't hire people who have green cards. They need people who are citizens. So if you're not citizen, you cannot get a job.
Yeah, I mean government clearance and
Right.
all of that factor.
And I don't know whether you hear that news that they came out, I think 2 months back or 1 month back, where government especially told the companies who have government contracts that you cannot hire foreign nationals,
For national.
even
Yeah.
people who have subcontracts. So, for example, let's say Lockheed does a lot of work, but we subcontract a lot of work. So we give a lot of work to smaller companies, other companies where they hire other people from everywhere. They cannot even hire me.
Okay.
So all this thing is going to impact. The only thing I would say is, for you, the right thing to do is don't graduate until you get a job. That's for sure. Until you hear something. So I think you did it in one sense, delaying your graduation by end of this year. That's for sure.
Okay.
That is 100% sure. And second thing that you can do is, which is much better, utilize your OPT, because that will give you a chance. So if you are able to co-op using your OPT or someone, that will still give you a chance that you can apply for jobs and so forth.
Right.
See, here's another thing. I also won't discourage anybody. Is like, hey, all the people who have graduated in 2020 international masters, none of them have able to find a job. That's also not the case.
Yeah.
But this is very unprecedented because I have never seen anything like this. To be honest with you, I mean, the sheer number of people that are unemployed have lost their job. I can just give you one example. In last 1 month, like close friends,
Hmm.
3 or 4 of them have lost their jobs. I mean,
Yeah. Uh,
they,
even the ones who are experienced.
these are people who have green cards, 10 years experience. These are people who have H1s. These actually all four out of 4 of them, 3 of them have green cards. Just
Okay.
so
Okay.
that's what I'm saying. It's very unprecedented because these are my friends who graduated like 10 years, and if they're masters, they're graduating 14 years back, right? So
Yeah.
I'm talking about those people. The only thing that can happen, and just give you my example, I lost so I had this is my fourth job. My first job at Rolls Royce, I lost the job because the company laid off everybody, 200 people. And the only way I was able to save myself because I had a green card, so I didn't have to leave the country, right? But then it happened to me again. So what I'm saying is this job and not having a job in a private sector is very easy in this country. Everybody, one or the time you have to go through this. You will be very lucky that that will not happen to you. That's what I'm saying. The guy I'm talking about, one of my friend. I mean, I don't think he expected that it can happen. But looking at the aerospace sector, looking at the oil and gas sector, just Google it. How many people are laid off from Schlumberger? Just yesterday, there was a news. You can Google, or Raytheon is laying off 15,000 people from Hartford, which is their hub.
Wow.
Just Google it. Yeah, it came actually last Friday.
Wow. Raytheon was huge. I mean, them being like
And
saying, oh,
the only caveat there is they are laying off people who are in their civil aviation business, not the defense.
okay.
Because aerospace is going through trouble. So the Pratt and Whitney's, all those people who make their or Collins Aerospace, because they are the one who makes interior and the engines and all that. Nobody's buying. And Rolls Royce, same thing. Firing is going on like crazy. The Derby, their headquarter in England, just Google it. How many people are being fired? So this is the cycle, and this time it's and I don't think Here's another example. When I graduated in 2010, housing market crashed in 2008, if I'm not wrong. In 2010, I just had one interview at ExxonMobil. There were no jobs. This was 2 years after that.
Okay.
So my opinion is, even they are saying the jobs are going to come back on all that. All those jobs are like, somebody working McDonald's or Starbucks. But I don't think a company who's laying off 50,000 people, these are white collar jobs, that they immediately hire those, like Boeing's and all that. So I don't think that happens very immediately. Like Starbucks, you lay off, suddenly you open that city, they say, oh, come back, right? I don't think that happens for white collar jobs. So don't get too much confused about if they send the unemployment numbers or things are better and all that. I think every country, and also, because the quarter 3 result is coming, that's why this is happening. Maybe Q4 result is going to come in December. Something will happen again, and they're talking about in Europe, second wave of Corona is coming and all that. So I don't know. It's very, very, and also the elections is like, I don't think anything, to be honest with you, I don't see anything getting better till elections anyway, because, Corona is blown up with elections too. So,
I mean, it's like really volatile. Like anything can like just happen by the end of the year. So
yeah, so until elections, everything will going to be up and down, but this Corona will definitely impact because, if you look at it, I mean, even now I can't fly back home or whatever, it's like crazy. But anyway, so these are some of the things. The reason I told you these things, because I want to you to aware of the reality.
yeah,
But
reality.
this is the reality, right?
So
So you can make a see the whole idea of many students, or many, for even when I was a student, somebody, I wish I would have told me many things. I would have made better decisions. So I
definitely.
want you to not to get scared of this, but say, okay, I know all this information now. What better decision I can make?
Yeah, that's exactly. That's why I connected with you and
Right.
you would be like a perfect person to,
Right.
you know,
And as I said,
someone who's
somebody
an
would,
experienced.
right, right. As I said, somebody wish I could have gone to at that time, like 10 years back when I was at your place and said, can you help me? Because I was doing everything on my own. So it's very important to have the right information. Like nothing. So these are the, downsides of it. But I would also say that, there are a lot of uncertainty. Things might be fine. Everything will be fine. So also, let me tell you one thing. When I say with H1, you have to go through that uncertainty, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, if you look at sheer number of people who are working in US are on H1 too. So
Mostly.
everybody's going through it, right? So you can, what I'm saying is you can also look that in that perspective. Said, I'm not the only one. Everybody goes through this thing, right? So if it happens, it happens. And I guess that's how everybody is living in this country. Most of the people who are on H1. Like it happens, it happens. So, and but I would say in your case, many good things that can happen for you. And I wish I would strongly advise you.
Mhm.
So again, I'm I think you're looking at your job profile for what you have done, your background. I think you would be a very good candidate for any company. To be honest with you, you would
Okay.
be a very
Thank
good
you.
candidate. So I personally, if you ask me, looking at the job profile, where university you are in, your background, if there is a polymer company looking to hire a fresh engineer out of college, I think you should be the first person to get hired. No doubt, hands down. That's for sure. So that's the good thing.
Yeah, I mean, I have tried to like diversify my background. I mean, I have probably ventured into polymer chemistry and kind of, towards the characterization side. And also right now I'm doing like some sort of processing, simulations and designing. So just to make sure that,
Right,
I
right. I
mean,
like that you have done certification on Six Sigma and all that. This amazing.
yeah,
Trust me, it will help you a lot. Especially, if you look at where are the jobs in manufacturing, right? These are the tools people use. So that will help you definitely. So that's what
yeah,
I'm saying. You are doing all the right things in your CV, and you have done everything right. So I don't think it's just the time. Just wait till I would say the election year. I'm pretty sure after the new year comes in, everything settles down. The Christmas, the elections, everything, because after Thanksgiving, everybody's sleeping in this country anyway, right? So let's wait till the new year, and you will see things will opening up.
but then I had one question that, I mean, so I see like job openings right now coming up. So are they mostly the ones who want to hire like in a month or so, or they would be, I mean, they would be like from January or February? Because like they don't mention anything about the intake over there.
Two things I would say some of these job openings are real and some are not, in my opinion. And the reason I say so is companies also like if you see Raytheon, you will find in their website there are tons of jobs, but they're firing too, right? So my point here is that's how the system works. The HR has to also say what my job is, what I'm doing. Otherwise, the HR is going to get fired too. I would say they see jobs are always posted based on the forecast,
Okay.
or somebody got a new. So the immediate jobs are the one where they got a contract and they said we need to hire someone. These
I
are
see.
most of the time these jobs are within a month you need to work start
Oh, yeah.
working. The second type of jobs are based on forecast. They said, hey, we are looking to grow next year, we are targeting 20% growth, right? So that we need that many people. Or they're saying the baby boomers are retiring, we need that many people, regular hires. So but the first case where you're saying are you looking for immediate hire, I'm not I think those jobs are pretty less in my opinion, because everybody's waiting till election. That's what I'm saying. Like it's so close. I don't think, if even if it is what I would say like a sort of an emergency,
Okay.
like somebody found another job, he moved or something happened, that they like we need someone to replace this right now because we have someone to run this machine and move on, right?
Right.
I If that is not the case, I don't see that somebody's looking to immediate hire now.
Okay.
Especially for the fresh students, most of these jobs are more regular ones, right? So most of these jobs are regular ones, like um, because if you look at, let's say, Intel, right? Intel usually has a pattern of hiring fresh graduates from a university, and but what happened in Intel right now, they have that for sure.
Uh, Noise.
Just one second. Okay, is it better?
Yeah, much better.
Okay, good. So what I'm saying is, like, for example, if you look at Intel, they have stopped the hiring for a year, that I know. And so,
I mean,
those
I think
regular,
two of my friends did get hired. I mean, so I think two of
when they got hired.
two of the people I know, like in my LinkedIn, they got hired in I think the month of June.
No, no, when they got the
As
offer.
in the month of June, I think
So their offer must be
the
long,
offer. I mean, I think yeah, it must be like in May or
right?
something.
So what I'm
But they got like hired for like a packaging engineer job.
Yeah, no, so that's a normal way, normal hiring process. But what I'm saying is,
Okay.
this is the information I have from one of my friend who's a manager at Intel, that they have freeze the hiring. Probably
Okay.
they probably hired someone, or they gave offer long time, like in a when they got interviewed and long time, but the new interviews are not happening.
Okay.
Again, as I said, I think in your case, just wait is the right thing. So for you, graduating in December is the right thing for sure,
All right.
right? But at the same time, be more aggressive in applying. When I say aggressive, that doesn't mean you have to apply each and every job, but whatever job you apply, be very, very aggressive. What I mean by aggressive is, and I
Yeah.
say
And
this
maybe
in
like connecting with people over
yeah, whatever you can do,
connecting
whatever,
the
yeah.
HR.
But what I'm saying is, when I say aggressive, and I speak, as I said, I speak this in my other videos also. Whenever I say the job profile and the your CV has to be like the answer sheet. Let's say, for example, whenever you see a job, it says basic qualification and preferred qualification, right? So
Yeah.
when they say basic qualification, let's say they say masters, tick. They say, have you experience in Six Sigma? Tick. Have you done fracture analysis? No. That's not a right thing. So what I'm saying is, make sure your CV answers those everything. So
Okay.
don't
I mean,
don't
especially
have
the
just
keywords.
right. Don't just have one CV. Have a CV specific to that job. Spend time,
Okay.
right? Because
Okay.
many times what people do, they have one CV and they keep uploading. That's not the right way. The right way is to, especially, it's like an exam, they say, right? Whenever you try to qualify for an exam, you do the questions which you know first, and then do the rest of them later. It's something like that. So what I'm saying is, when you look at a job profile and you really like that job, don't apply it immediately. Just save it. Maybe something which you said, maybe I'm not sure, just apply, that's fine. But if there is a job very specific, you think this, you have a good chance, spend some time before submitting. Make
Okay.
sure that your CV for that job is very specific to the job. As I said, answers all the questions, keywords, and all that.
Correct. And I mean, cover letter would like definitely
Yeah,
help in.
yeah, cover letter.
Right.
And cover letter should not be very long. Cover letter should be like saying that, hey, I mean, you can find the format, but it's basically telling you that you have all the desired and preferred qualification that is said in this, and for more details, they are mentioned in my CV, more or less like that.
Okay.
And rather than using a lot of adjective or something, keep it low. That's fine. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't affect if you write too much, like I'm so goal oriented and all that. I mean, people will know when they read your CV. Be very specific. And as I said, your CV is really good. I mean, I think you're the right person. But let's say if you're able to find a job, if you work there for a year or two, I would definitely advise you to get an MBA down the road.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be right
Would.
thing for you to do. Yeah, that will boost your career a lot, especially if you get into product development or something and you become a program manager or something. Your CV will, because what happens is, then the reason why I say this to you, what you're looking at is more job security, and the more job security only comes when you become more versatile. Doing an MBA makes you that actually, because if you're a program manager for, let's say, 3M, and you're working in Minnesota, you did an MBA, you become a pro, and in, let's say, supply chain or whatever, or stream user marketing or finance, then you can get hired by Amazon, you can get hired by Google, you can get hired by Apple, you can get hired by a ketchup company. Doesn't matter, because you become more versatile. So more versatile you are, more job security you have.
Okay. And then, I mean, right now, since my profile is like very technical and,
Right, right.
after
So
that,
diversify that. Yes, correct. So that's what I'm getting into actually. So right now, that's the only thing you have you can play. Unless and you love polymer by your heart, that guy will do his PhD. That's what I'm telling you. But
yeah,
I think for you, you are more like product. For you, doesn't matter whether it's made out of alloy or whether it's made out of
yeah,
something. So for you is like you have a certain skill set, and doesn't
yeah,
matter where you can apply that skill set. But right now, yes, you're right, you can only play with what you have, so you can't get a job in Google. But if that is what you want, or that what you can do, you will certainly get it. So what you do, you said, okay, after 2 or 3 years I'm going to go for an MBA, a part-time MBA. I will do my job, do my part-time MBA. I'm doing it actually, so you can do it. It's a do
yeah,
it and then move out, reach out,
okay.
and do whatever you want. So that is the other way to be more secure here. So tomorrow, if that company dies out, let's say, um, um, like for example, the aerospace, let's say you are working for United Airlines, and the whole aerospace industry tanks down. You're a program manager. You start working for Pepsi. Who cares? So
Okay.
that's how you will be
More,
keep floating.
so
And
that's
then if you become up in
smart.
the hierarchy, certainly there are many ways to get an green card. It's not because you have a PhD, but if you go up in the hierarchy, you are always able to get a green card based on because you are a senior manager. You are something. There is only other ways to.
Okay. And like, what do you suggest of the other option of maybe, immigrating to Canada instead? Because I've heard that people are doing it in
Oh,
these
a lot,
days.
a lot. Every second person is doing that.
Like after they get a work experience out here, like getting through express entry out there. But then again, if we say that like the number of jobs available in Canada, so I mean the market is like saturated over there as well,
I mean,
and we
if you
don't see like any sort of manufacturing happening in Canada.
see, the reason people come to US is very simple, because this country offers thousands and thousands and thousands of opportunities. It's very as simple as that, right? You can go to Canada or you can go to Norway. But the problem is those are, one can say those are best places to live. But yeah, you can live there, but what are you gonna do, right? So,
Yeah,
that's a personal choice. But I can tell you that for sure, every second person is thinking of going to Canada right now. I don't know whether it's the right thing or not. Yes, if I also spoke to one person who he just graduated from Ohio State. Actually, there might be a video of him that he got two offers actually. One from he was from IIT Patna, and then he did his master's from OSU, and he got two offers, one from California company, one from Vancouver, and he chose one from Vancouver. For him, that would be the right thing, because he had a job and then moved to Canada. So if you have a job, move to Canada, I would say that's fine. But if you don't have a job and move to Canada, what are you going to do there? Because you have to again fight for. It's not like you're in Canada. They say, "Hey, you are Canada. Here is the offer," because one thing you have to understand. Many people miss that part here. You get job not because you have a green card. You get job because you know something. No, because otherwise you will find so many homeless who are citizens, right?
yep,
That's extremely important. Not many people get it. That's why I'm saying I know a lot of people who have green card, but they are unemployed, and I know a lot of H1 who are doing way better. So point here is a skill set will help you to do something. These things, immigration, this and that, they are sometimes they are annoying, but more or less in a bigger scale of picture, your skill set will be able to help you. So what I'm saying is, if you're able to go to Canada and able to find a job, that is understand. But then the pool is like this is small there. The pool is like enormous. So you have better chances to get a job here. I'm not sure about Canada, but if you're
okay,
able to find a job, then I understand.
yeah.
So you can immigrate to Canada, but the process will be like you have to wait another at least 2 or 3 years before you can get something, and then you will be able to apply for something.
Yeah, correct. I mean, I was really looking forward to it because I mean, I am like really close to my family. I mean, especially my mom, and like I'm just a single child, so you know, you can understand the
They live
fact that
in Canada.
no, they live in Mumbai.
Okay. So you,
Yeah,
as I said, if they live in Mumbai, and if that's what your plan is, you can also think of whether they can immigrate here, or you have to go back to India. Or I mean, it's a tough choice for everyone. For me also, sometimes I think the same way. But to be honest with you, if that is the, when I told you about this H1 thing, I think the biggest problem everybody faces is the family, because you can't travel all the time. You can travel, but there is a risk. Like, for example, just now Trump has said, I'm going to ban the H1, like, so many people got stuck. And that is a lot of people were not able to go just because of that, to be honest with you.
yeah. I mean, even they immigrating is like, I mean, they cannot if you're an H1, like they cannot like visit you. I mean,
No,
often.
they can visit you. They can come. My parents and a lot of my friends' parents, they come in the visitor visa. They can stay here for 6 months. They can go back and come back again. They can do. People do that all the time.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah. That's not at all a problem. They can. Usually, what happens when parents come here, they don't enjoy here because they feel so bored. That's a separate story. But nobody stops them to come here. To be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't happen. But as I said, the only thing will be for you to go there